hands, and a war cry trumpeted through their throat as 4 other orcs came for them, brandishing axes and maces. Before they could reach Vaerix, Driss swept in from above and speared one of them in the back, dispersing the others. Then Driss landed and moved to Vaerix's side. Together they stood side by side, the excitement of the battlefield replacing the ecstasy of flight, and they ran to meet what was left of the orc forces. The battle did not take long. "They fought well," Vaerix said afterward to their longtime companion. "They bought time to allow their elders and the hatchlings to run," Driz said as together they walked among the bodies toward the burning orc camp. "A worthy stance," Vaerix replied. Orcs, like many of the mortal races, spawned younglings and were willing to fight and die to protect them. Not all the dragon hybrids shared Vaerix's views, but they respected a warrior's willingness to lay down their life for a higher cause, and they imagined it was so for the orcs too. Preserve the species, save the little ones, and give them a chance to grow and fight on their own. One of the huts, little more than a husk of blackened poles and charred skins, collapsed in a blizzard of flying sparks. Many of the other hybrids had already taken flight, regrouping to go back to their camp. There was nothing else to do here. There were no secrets learned from the defeated orcs, no hidden runes, no shards of power. Dragon Lord Leverax would be disappointed, just as Vaerix was. Today, theirs was a purely tactical victory, a move on the chessboard of the Broken Lands, meaningless in itself, but important in the larger scheme of things, and it had been a good fight. Sometimes that was all that mattered. The warriors' exercise of their weapons. Chapter 1. Razor Cliff. Tall, flat slabs of rock flanked the road that led to the top of the Razor Cliff Ridge. The members in good standing of the Explorers Guild had long debated whether those rocks were a natural formation or the remains of some ancient structure. No definitive answer had ever been found to those questions. White as bones and scarred by the elements, the stones trapped the road in a corridor of perpetual shadow, whispering wind, and deceptive echoes. Right in that moment, such deceptive echoes were a broken melody with the garbled words of an old dwarven song, belted out with such enthusiasm and in such a thick Dunwar accent, even Brockton the map-maker, a Dunwar dwarf himself, was unable to understand its verses. With a grimace, he turned in the saddle of his pony and cast a pained glance at Grisbin the Thirsty, who rode behind him, his white streaked beard flying in the wind. Grisbin threw his head back and launched into another howling verse. A warrior undefeated, Grisbin was, and Brockton started to believe the reason was because he had sung his enemies to death. "Oh, dwarf," Quellen called, his sharp elven voice piercing the din of Grisbin's song. Grisbin stopped in the middle of the chorus and turned in his saddle. "What ails you, O wizard?" "It's mage, if you please," Quellen replied, piqued. He was third in their file, and sat on top his rocky ride with a hunched, tired stance, wrapped in his green cloak like an old man in his blanket. Brockton didn't know how old he was. It was hard to tell with elves. "But I was wondering," Quellen went on, "how many songs do you know?" Grisbin pulled at his beard. "Ah, hundreds, thousands probably." "Thousands indeed," the elven mage arched his eyebrows. "And do you plan to sing them all to us?" Grisbin opened his mouth and then closed it. He turned to glance at Brockton, and then back at the elf. "What if I do?" he finally asked. Quellen shrugged. "Then I think we'll need to buy more supplies." Grisbin's frown deepened. "What do you mean?" "That we'll find no